they were in the wild, they would have a ton around. Why do you think they want to stay in a group?
So they don't get lost?
They don't get lost. Okay, well, think about predators coming after one fish versus a big group of fish. How do you think that they would fare? How do you think they would do if they were in a big group versus just by themselves?
Oh, they would go where sunlight is and the shine is close?
Yeah, they could do that. So they could go where sunlight is so they could kind of distract predators. But the biggest reason is because if they're in a big group, a couple might get picked off at the edge, but they're a little bit safer because they're pretty tiny fish, so they're safer in a big group moving as a school. This guy right here, the bigger one, he's a carp. So carp are an introduced species to the United States. They weren't here before people came to, or before European settlers came here. So they were introduced from Asia. So they were introduced because they were really, really good fish for eating back in the day. A lot of people love to eat carp. Nowadays, if you've probably never seen carp on a menu because nobody really wants to eat them, but because, I don't know, they just fell out of popularity. There's some people that are trying to get people to eat them because since they're not from here, they weren't adapted to this ecosystem. So that means that they kind of came in and they were able to take advantage of some of the ways to survive. So for example, they eat everything. So they can eat pretty much anything that they find. So they don't have any paper. I mean, I don't know, food things. So like, for example, some fish can only eat certain like bugs and stuff like that. But carp, they can eat anything that's left. So it's just they're kind of out-compete, which means that they can beat out other fish that were already here. So they can be a problem in some places. Down here, the lights aren't on, I'm not sure why. But we have, so these are white perch, the not striped ones. And this guy here is a black drum. Now the cool thing about him is that he makes a sound when you catch him. So he croaks. So if you were to get him and these are mostly in like the bay and out near the ocean, they get really big. So that black drum, he could get a couple feet, right? They get pretty big when you catch them out in the ocean, but they come up here to have their babies and things like that. So that's a little bit less stressful than, if you think about the ocean versus the bay. I'm not sure. We haven't seen any little ones, but they would probably just get eaten if that was the case. So, but the cool thing is, yes, so that, and then you can see, remember we talked about how the catfish has those, looks like kind of like a beard. What do we say those were? Do you remember what I said those were called? Barbels, yeah. So the barbels that's another thing that they can help kind of see their way around and feel their way around using those barbels on the bottom of their mouth. I really like the black drum because they make that sound. I think that's really cool. One thing that we will talk about actually with this guy, so we can move on to these tanks.